at kaisa-isang pang-araw-araw na produksyon para sa ating mga kababayan dito sa Amerika. Kayo po ay nanonood ng Kababayan Today kung saan araw-araw nilalayon po namin na ipagdiwang yung tinatawag nilang Kababayan Prides or Kababayan Achievements. And today is no different. We have two Kababayan Achievers visiting us today. There's one actor that is starring in a movie, in a Hollywood movie, together with Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson. Yay! We're gonna meet him in just a little while. But also right about now, a Kababayan entrepreneur, very successful at that, all the way from Chicago. Morris, hello and welcome to Kababayan Today.
Thank you.
Morris is the founder, creative director of Equilibrium USG in Chicago, Illinois, USA, Manila, Philippines, and has been all over, also providing jobs for our Kababayans in the Philippines through this company. Morris, I guess, how many years have you been in this business?
We've been doing it as a hobby and whatnot for about, I'd say, eight years or whatnot. But it's been the last 3 years that we've been doing it full time.
Full time, yes. And tell me how you started.
It started out as a something between myself and my father. I haven't seen him for 10 years, moving over to this country, and I decided to go back there and actually look for him. And when I found him, we were able to do a business together. And he used to do bags initially for a big company in the Philippines, but it didn't really pan out. So what we tried to do is do bags for a bigger audience, which is in America.
Right.
And that's what we started out doing, and we were able to do it as a like again a hobby first, and now it's full time for me, and it's been doing pretty good and pretty steady.
Father and son doing business together, how tricky is that?
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky in a couple places, but you know what, we're pretty much broken from the same mold, if you could say. Yeah,
right.
So okay lang.
How do you solve, kumbaga, disagreements, or are there instances when you don't see eye to eye? What do you do about that?
Oh yeah, basically, for us, it would be time kind of smooths out a lot of these things. So we would have, if we do have arguments, we kind of like, mellow out for a little bit and then talk about it again, and we understand each other
when
afterwards.
You're both, you're right, not wound up. Yes. Okay, what about the struggles when you're starting, as a Filipino-American starting here? It says here in your bio that you served 8 years in the U.S. Army.
Correct.
Did that help? Because I know that the U.S. Army has programs for some of those who serve to be reintegrated back into the society.
The way that it actually helped me was more on the design side and the usability and the utility of the product. All of this stuff that we're doing, a lot of it is through my, I guess you could say, our the design, all of that stuff is through my experiences and all this stuff. That's why with the Army and the way that they've actually been using their products, that actually helped out a lot to facilitate this product to be finally what it is right now.
Because what is so interesting about the backpacks like this one is it's not just your regular backpack. Correct. It has a shell, it has different uses, very utilitarian. That's probably what you were referring to when you said, your experiences from the Army. Tell us a little bit about the design itself and the shell and this one and how it changes.
Right. The easiest way to explain it is it's like Legos for bags. So you could take them apart. It's a modular design, and it allows for several different things like form, flow, and function. So the bag itself allows you to be able to change the skin, which is like a t-shirt for the bag. So you could have something that's new and refreshing, like every time you could just change it. You could match your ensemble and whatnot. And then the container itself is actually changeable too, to different sizes, shapes, and styles. And what that allows you to do is you could use it by itself, and then you could use the harness, which is the final piece, by itself as well. So a good example of how this works out is when you go on a trip like we are doing right now, and we would take this as a carry-on on the plane, and then we would take it off in the hotel, take it apart, and just leave the big bag in the hotel. Take the small bag with you to where your daily jaunts and stuff.
Very, very creative. But would you say that not everyone who's creative gets to be given a chance, as with the one you've had, to be able to develop that concept and make it into a business, and a successful business at that? Yeah,
correct. I mean, it's all about I guess perseverance and the patience to do this stuff. If I didn't have a regular day job or whatever it is, it would be really hard to do. So I'm very thankful that I'm able to do that whilst I was doing this,
Right.
and then to the point that it would actually just, it took over at the last 3 years.
You know, I hear that a lot for people who are very successful. They don't start out leaving everything and focusing on the one thing. They juggle two, and I can imagine how difficult that was, because then if you have a regular day job, that's 40 hours a week, and then over and above that, you do things that you pursue your passion, kumbaga. What made you pursue this in spite of the times when you felt like giving up and you were so discouraged?
Oh goodness, yeah. Well, I mean, it's all about like family for me. And when I was younger, all I saw was how my parents and my family on both sides, they were all entrepreneurs. I mean, they had their own taller, they had their own like sporting goods companies and stuff like that. And to me, that's all I remembered when I was growing up. So coming over here and facing these struggles, I just remember how it was for my family, for my parents when they were doing this stuff. And I just look at it like, you know what, I don't see it as much of a struggle. And also on top of that, I remember this one snippet. Like I was going through in the Philippines and I passed through the railroads where the squatters are. And I see kids having fun, even though they don't have too much. And and I just remember myself, I'm like, you know what, there's nothing that I can be complaining about that's rougher than what these kids are going through.
Wonderful thought. So it's nature and nurture for you. Nature, it's in the blood, entrepreneur, being an entrepreneur, and nurture because you really had to persevere to get to this point. Congratulations. And thank you for making us proud.
Oh, please.
Another Kababayan Pride when we return on the show. Don't go away.